Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. Leadership comes with temptations. And today we're going to look at the greatest temptation leaders face. David is now the king of Israel, and David followed King Saul as king. And David was personally aware, he personally observed how God rejected Saul as king. So he learned from Saul's bad example as a leader. Saul had taken matters into his own hands and not followed God's instructions. He fell for the greatest temptation a leader faces. The temptation of a leader to start to think that as the leader, they are God. They're in charge. They call the shots. They decide what makes sense. And David had learned some key leadership lessons about leadership from seeing Saul's bad example. The first thing that David learned was that God puts people in positions of leadership, and God removes people from positions of leadership. The second thing that David learned is that a leader is under God's leadership. The leader leads the people, but God leads the leader. And the final thing David learned is that God has expectations for a leader. So listen to 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 15, as we look at what David does as a leader. 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 15. So David reigned over all Israel and did what was just and right for all his people. David understood that leadership was a trust from God to lead and care for God's people. The temptation is to get things upside down, where a leader thinks that the people are there to serve the leader. We see that in the political world all the time today. But Jesus made clear that the leader is to be a servant of the people they lead. God puts people under a leader's care, and the leader's primary responsibility is to lead them and serve the people under their care. And the leader will be held accountable for how they treated and provided for the people. It's called the stewardship of position, the stewardship of leadership. Most leaders today exercise leadership for their own benefit, not for the people's benefit. But one day, there will be an accounting for each person's leadership, whether it's leadership over your family, your children, a small group, a small business, someone in a department where you work, a church, if you're a pastor or a leader, a business, a department, or even a country. So take leadership seriously in your life and lead like Jesus. Be a servant. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday as we start to dig deep into the incident of David and Bathsheba. Probably second only to David and Goliath as the most well-known incident in David's long, illustrious, and sometimes disastrous life. I'll see you on Monday.